Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Today it's getting more and more interesting with Bitcoin. I think we're getting into a very interesting phase of this market at the moment. Bitcoin again is at the next decision point and it's getting quite interesting. I think first we should take a look here at the 4-hour chart just to talk about the different scenarios that are possible. I don't really have a bullish count available. There is a possible one that I also talked about in the previous video, but the bullish one is mainly short-term bullish. It would not necessarily generate a breakout from here, even though it's possible, of course. Anything is possible in these markets, but we are too far away from confirming that a bottom has been in, a low has been in. Bitcoin would need to do much more, and other options are more likely, especially as we are taking a look at the chart from an Elliott Wave point of view. Here, context is always very important, and the overall chart context does not yet suggest that a low has been made. Bitcoin's also short-term micro counts continue to be a mess. That has to do with Bitcoin's structure in this entire bear market so far. Or at least in the last few months since the June low, the structure has been an absolute mess. That does not really give us a lot of confidence into any bullish scenario. Therefore, it's actually good if Bitcoin makes new lows, just to tidy up the mess. Ethereum has performed much better since the June low. And here again, we just see the decoupling of Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Bitcoin off the June low has made new lows and Ethereum is actually still holding higher lows. So again, it's just, they are correlated to a degree, but you can't say, for example, that because Bitcoin makes a new low, Ethereum has to make one as well. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin. There are a couple of scenarios here on the 4-hour chart for the further development of the chart generally here. We continue to follow this scenario that has guided us basically since, I think, August, September, that from the high here around 25K, we came down in an A wave, we moved up in a B wave, and we're currently in this C wave. The C wave is an ending diagonal, and in this ending diagonal, we've got a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is suggesting we should see one more low. This is not according to proportions. Yeah, I would say we have a chance now in the short term to create a larger wave 4, and we should then come down once more lower as per this count. And the other count I'm following, but it doesn't really have a major impact. It's very similar. It just has an impact in terms of, well, maybe sort of short-term targets, right? That is suggesting that we had a wave 1 here. This is a 2, here a 3, here a 4, and a 5. Without the ABC, that's possible as well. It doesn't really have a great impact. And it doesn't really make a great difference. I just want to make you aware that you can also get away without doing this as an ABC, because the ABC, if you count a 5th wave as an ABC, it means that the entire move down off the high back in November has to be counted as a 3-wave structure. That is possible, but I just want to emphasize that medium term, long term on the higher degree chart, different possibilities exist, but all of them or most of them still point to another low for Bitcoin, primarily in the region around 14 to 14.5K. But short-term upside still possible. We are again at one of these periods where we could see some short-term upside. And again, let's talk about options here. Now, the important is, so let's just first of all, off the most recent high, let's take a look at the chart, because this was this wave 2 high I mentioned. We came down, in my opinion, in a wave 3. So that's for me a given. The point is now, where is this wave 4? This wave 4, which is a corrective wave, a retracement consisting of ABC. It can also be a triangle, but most likely ABC. The wave 4 could have been here. So that we say we came down in a 3, we made the wave 4. And if that's the case, we are currently coming down in the 5th wave without seeing this upside. which means, again, I can count this as a 3-wave structure. If we say we are in an ending diagonal, the wave 5, then the wave 5 is the wave 5 is a 5-wave move. So we would say we've got here the wave, let me think, 1, 2, no, let me think, we came down, yeah, 1, 2, I would say, and then next is a wave 3, a 4, and a 5. This is sort of the imminent bearish count where we are stuck below resistance. We're going to be stuck below this resistance line and we're going to come down straight away. The subwave count here suggests very clearly, let me talk about that as well. Where are we? That's why this yellow box is there, because this is the count that we talked about before. Let me just think, where do we start? So wave 1, 2, and then in this wave 3 we would consider the wave 3 is a 3-wave structure. A 3-wave structure, A, B, C, and we're now in the resistance area of wave B. That's why we've got this yellow box here. We haven't broken it yet, and therefore it is still possible to come down in this C wave. We can talk about a target. So that means very, very simply, as long as we stay below 16,800, it is still very much possible and likely to come down straight away. Yeah, I'm skeptical about this move up. Yeah, I said that before. It's not, it is, you can count it as 5 waves. Yeah, but of course it's also a matter of interpretation. You can also get away with just counting this as a 3-wave structure, which I can show you in a minute. But this is still possible as long as we are below this or in this yellow box. Yeah. And that would be an imminent move down. So, and this is basically the breakout point, 16.8k. At least the first one. The next one would be here, the 17,120 level, the wave 2 high. Okay, so this is the imminent, let's call it imminent bearish count without, in case we don't break resistance. Okay, hope that was clear. Then we've got the count which is going to be valid should we break resistance, and we would then count this move up as a 5-wave structure. By the way, in terms of it is for me quite a straightforward 5-wave structure. The problem is you can count it as 3 waves as well. The problem is that this wave 3 was not the ideal length. It was a bit too short. And if I count it as a leading diagonal, I would need one more leg up. Yeah. We had a very short one. Yes. So again, it increases probability here. You could say this was a 3, a 4, because in a diagonal pattern, each of the subwaves is an ABC. So we've got here ABC in 1, ABC in 2, ABC in 3. Okay. And then we come down in 4 and have moved up in 5. It's not an ideal structure, so I'm still very much a bit skeptical about this move up, and therefore, you know, you've got this yellow resistance area where I think we are going to see a reversal. Should, of course, we break through it, it would be a bullish signal and would make this count that I just showed you with the move down less likely. So the other count, and that will become the primary, should we break above resistance, should we break above 16.8k, then we're looking at this, and that we say, no, wave 4 wasn't in here. We are still in a wave 4. It's just a larger A, B, C pattern. And the wave C is an impulse. And we would have to say that, and that this impulse is now unfolding. With the wave 1 being this 5-wave move, we would come down next in a wave 2, move up in a 3, come down in 4, move up in a 5. And this would finish off most likely a wave 4. It could also be something more bullish, but then I would need further confirmation as we go along. So very simply put, my preferred scenario would be that we, so for the imminent sell-off, if we don't break resistance, that we come down now anyway. So ideally, in no scenario I would like to see a breakout. Ideally, we come down now. In the more bullish count, we would find support in this area between 15,740 and 16,050 or 70. So if we find support in this area when we retrace, and again, it is an ideal time to turn around now. I did say that before. Maybe there'll be one more leg up, but we're getting close to sort of a period where we could really turn around here. And if we do that, if this is a corrective move down and if we find support in this area, it would make a wave 3 in C to the upside very likely. And that would be a trade that could be taken long. Should you see that we come down impulsively, and of course I keep you up to date and try to keep the channel members on Discord and Telegram up to date as much as possible. But if we come down impulsively and break below the 15,720 level, pretty much, then it will get very unlikely that we are still going to move up. Then we are most likely going to make a new low, yeah, and would then come down in this wave 3 that I showed you in the beginning. And we then talk about, let me just think that there was 1, 2, AB. So target wise, we would then talk about round about 14K actually. Yeah, maybe not that low. The problem is if this is a diagonal pattern down, then you can't really necessarily use the 1.618 extension for a wave 3. These are unreliable. We might talk about 14.5K, the 1.236, or the 1-to-1 ratio here for 15K. Yeah. So these are the key targets to the downside. If we don't break resistance, if we break resistance, we're talking here about prices around. I give you the, let's say the worst case of around 17,680. So yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I'm skeptical about this move up still, especially as long as we are still in this yellow resistance area where we ideally turn around. And then this will be the next decision point where we have a chance to find support. And if we go through it, we'll probably make new lows in the target area or in the area I mentioned. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.